with a little anecdote. After a Russian history conference last October, our program at Carleton was invited to the Russian embassy in Ottawa. At this gathering, I spoke to a diplomat who asked me what was the focus of my thesis research. I responded, eagerly, the emerging Russian identity. A smirk appeared across his face, a skeptical look in his eyes, and he said, well then, tell me who I am. To say I was ill-prepared is an understatement. Here is a problem presented, the ambiguity of identity, the broad nature of cultural identity studies. Am I going to presume to go to Russia and tell Russians who they are? No, I'm certainly not. I cannot, on an individual personal basis, I cannot tell him who he is. But by using the collective memory in conjunction with contemporary concerns, it is possible to clear the mist and at least try and read the Russian atmosphere. Not for a definitive answer, but as a continued effort to understand, in our quest to expand our notions of national identity. We must seek to understand our own understanding, never to know in certain, but to be open to admit that we don't know. We must search all possible layers of identity, and by utilizing a variety of cultural sources. My source of choice is film. Bela Balazs, an early film theorist, famously wrote, not this computer, that he predicted or hoped that film would be the visual corollary of human souls immediately made flesh. Man will become visible once again. Once again, because Balazs believed that the discovery of printing, the printing press, had taken the visible out of the human face. And had placed it as invisible conceptual understanding. And I believe that man has been made visible. In an ever-increasing visual culture, film is a medium which not only expresses the creative outlet of a director and film team, but it also creates an impression on its audience. Russian cinema has long been conscious of this power of expression and impression. From Lenin's famous declaration of cinema as a tool for furthering the revolutionary sentiments, to Mosfilm's strict censoring of filmmakers and their dangerously creative ideas during the Soviet era. Even contemporary cinema sees trends of influence. Mainstream Russian film is used often as a cultural source because of its quantitative nature, due to its sheer quality of acceptance. Large budgets funded by oligarchs and also receiving government grants. These large Russian audiences identify with these accepted and sponsored images and are entertained. It's easier in some ways to say these films speak to the general spirit. But what about a freedom of expression? A freedom of subject matter? What about these issues and concerns that are not politically compliant? Russian art cinema, due to its under-the-radar nature, low domestic popularity, rare theatrical release, is a qualitative source. One that can speak, or better show, a glimpse of a precarious subject matters, highlight unease, speak to uncertainty, and leave loose ends. Russian art cinema is unique for its distribution system. These films appear into consciousness more often than not at international film festivals, such as Cannes, Venice Film Festival, Berlin Film Festival. Sort of out of the Russian national microscope. Russian art house films can be about the pursuit of an idea, an exploration, but not a perfect conclusion, not an end result, not a perfectly presented proclamation of Russian identity. Just as, and because this is Germanic and Slavic studies, I thought I would put this in. Just as New Wave German cinema had to deal with the collapsing film industry after the Nazi occupation, and was in charge with dealing and facing that Nazi past, so does post-Soviet cinema become burdened with recreating a national cinema and communicating with this haunting past.